Hi guys, it's Ebony, and in this video I'm going to be going over the pros and the cons of big chopping. Pros and cons that I've experienced myself that I wanted to share just in case anyone was considering big chopping and you want to know big chopping without transitioning and you want to know the pros and cons of doing so. Because I think there is a difference between big chopping with a transition period and big chopping without transitioning. There's a significant difference in my opinion. So I'm going to go over some of the pros and cons of big chopping with no transition. And since I want to start on a positive note, then I'll go over the pros first. So first pro, if you big chop with no transition, so your hair is very short when you big chop, it is a good time to learn your hair and learn what products work for your hair. And the reason why I think it's a good time when your hair is short, because you don't have to deal with a lot of tangling and matting and breakage issues. Your hair is already short. If you try a product and you realize that it doesn't work well with your hair, the most that it can do probably is make your hair dry. Because your hair is not very long, it's not really going to get that tangled, that matted. I haven't experienced very much breakage, and that's when I've tried products that really didn't work well for me, and also was trying products that work well. Because my hair is so short, I really don't get breakage. If it's dry, I can just condition it really quick, and I don't have to detangle, so I don't have a problem with breakage. So first pro, you get to learn your hair and you get to learn what products work for your hair without your hair being very long and you have to deal with everything that comes with long hair. Pro number two, you do not have to deal with the two textures. When I big chop, it was only maybe 10 weeks. I was only maybe 10 weeks post, so I didn't have very much new growth. When you transition, of course, depending on how long you transition, you're gonna have to deal with the two textures. You're gonna have to deal with the curly hair and then the relaxed hair, and anyone who's ever dealt with that, even if you're relaxed and you've tried stretching your relaxers, that may prove to be difficult, especially depending on the texture of your new growth compared to the texture of the relaxed hair. It can be a difficult situation. Detangling can be difficult. Styling can prove to be difficult because you have to find a style that looks good and blends those two textures where it looks decent, because sometimes you will end up with puffy roots and straight ends and it won't look great. So you have to find styles that will work good with both textures, and it can be a hassle. Some people get a lot of breakage when trying to manage two textures, so you don't have to worry about that if you big chop without a transition. Number three, you get to enjoy your hair at every stage. So you get to enjoy the freedom and the low maintenance that comes with having short hair. The ability to just wake up, put a little bit of product in your hair and go, maybe brush it down a little bit. You get to have that freedom, and that freedom will last for quite a long time depending on how fast your hair grows. So you do get that freedom of having short hair. And I was reading a comment from a lady on Hairlista, and she was commenting on one of my videos, and she told me that she big chopped. She grew her hair out for maybe a year or so, and then she decided to big chop again because she missed the freedom of having short hair. So definitely it is a pro. A lot of people enjoy it because there's really no maintenance required. The wash sessions are a breeze. You can get through them very quickly, and it's really enjoyable if you've had long hair for a long time and you've gone through the process of maintaining and keeping your long hair up. It can be a process. Okay, so now on to the cons. Con number one, it's a drastic change. If you've had long hair for a while, or even if you had middle length hair, like shoulder length hair, or even if you've had hair period for a long time, it can be a drastic change and even a shock to see yourself in the mirror with no hair. It can be a shock for your husband, your boyfriend, for your family members, even for your kids. Let me tell you, I shocked my kids. I shocked my kids, especially my 5-year-old son. When he saw that my hair was all cut off, he was like, "Mommy, what did you do?" And I was like, "I cut my hair off." "Mommy, your hair looks like my hair." "Yes, it does." So it can be a shock. I think most importantly, it can be a shock for yourself. Because there's no going back. After you've cut off all your hair, if you notice that the shape of your head is weird, or you notice that You can't pull off a short style in your opinion, because your opinion is the only thing that matters. In your opinion, if you feel like you can't pull off a short style, there's no going back. So that's con number one. Con number two, if you're like me, you'll be anxious for length. You'll be on YouTube. Well, let me just put it like this, what I've been doing. I've been on YouTube and I've been visiting these ladies' channels, and they have beautiful, gorgeous, long, natural hair. And they're doing all these cute styles, and they're flat twisting it and doing braid outs and twist outs and updos, and they're doing all these things that I can't do and that I probably won't be able to do for a long time. And that's okay. I know I'll get there. So I'm not worried about that too much. But I am getting a little bit anxious to have longer hair. So if you're anything like me, if you big chop without a transition, it's going to be a while before you're able to do some of the longer styles. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. But me, I want those styles right away, but I can't have them. I'm not complaining, but I'm just making it known that that's a con. If you big chop and you didn't transition, you're going to start off with just a little bit of hair. So it's going to be a while before you're able to do styles. And then the con number three, your styling options will be limited when you big chop without a transition. You're starting off with maybe an inch or less of hair. Your styling options will definitely be limited. I cut my hair very, very short. So short that I couldn't even get my hair braided if I wanted to, like braid it with extensions like box braids or cornrows or anything like that. My hair was very short that I couldn't even grip it to get it braided. So the only styling options I had if I didn't want to rock my TWA was to, and I couldn't even call it an afro because it was so short, I don't even know what to call it. But if I didn't want to rock that style, the only option I had was to wear a wig, because I couldn't put in braids or extensions. I couldn't put in a phony ponytail because I'd have no hair to pull back into a ponytail. There wasn't much that I could do except for wear a wig if I wanted to switch up my styling options. So if you're a person who likes to change up your look a lot, who doesn't particularly like to wear the same hairstyle every day, and that's me, your styling options will definitely be limited. So you have to think about that if you don't transition, because you're going to go to very short hair with not very much to do with it. And I just thought of one more pro that I want to add in. A pro of big chopping without transitioning is, and I've heard this from a few ladies, is that they went through a period of transition where they were handling both textures, their new growth, their natural hair, and their relaxed ends, and they got frustrated with the process. They got frustrated with transitioning, and they just relaxed again. And I'm sure that happens quite often. Well, maybe not as often as I think, but I think it probably happens to some people. And if you are going to transition, you have to consider if you have the patience to deal with both textures, because if you don't, and you're wanting to go natural, it's likely you might get frustrated one day and just say, hey, forget this, I'm just gonna relax it and be done with it. So that's another thing to think about. Okay, so that was the video. Those were all my pros and cons to big chopping without a transition period. If you have any additional pros and cons, please leave them in the comments. And if any of you guys big chopped with a transition, please comment about what you enjoyed about that, what you found helpful about having a transitioning period. If you big chop without a transition like me, also you comment and let me know what you liked about it. Why was that the best choice for you? And we'll just get some dialogue started in the comment section. Please like this video and please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for all of your support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.